Hey guys, it's Tiggy Maximus. Aloha. Tiggy Maximus Talks, episode 246 on Spotify and YouTube. Thank you guys for listening to the podcast, watching the podcast, donating to the podcast. If you haven't already, there is a link on my Spotify episode and my YouTube episode where there's a link where you click on it or copy and paste, and it will take you to the podcast, and there's a link where you can donate to the podcast on Spotify. Same thing if you do it on YouTube, it just takes you to Spotify. So just follow the link, and if you feel like donating, thank you. Bare minimum, 99 cents a month. It's like less than $12 a year. Just imagine that. As you might notice, I have a brand new Chargers t-shirt jersey of Justin Herbert. Well, I did go and watch the Chargers game against the Vegas Raiders at SoFi Stadium. Brought on comedian Erin Gonzalez. We brought her two daughters, Araceli and Anai. Um, and Araceli, she's like a up and coming musician, guitarist, got a great voice, and you got like the next best hairstylist, um, hairdresser in Anahi, and Erin Gonzalez also does hair, and well, she's a great mentor, and of course, a great mom. So honestly, it was fun bringing them all, and they got to see their first Charger game at SoFi Stadium, and I guess it was Erin's second time watching the Chargers. I brought her the first time, but we lost the first time against the Commanders. It was kind of my fault because apparently I am bad juju. But this time around against the Raiders, better opponent, and I wasn't bad luck. I wasn't bad juju. Chargers won 31-14. Justin Herbert did break his left hand, which kind of sucks. Which means with this hand broken, but he has his thrown hand, his right hand. That's just going to be his main hand. Apparently, the Chargers might have to play shotgun formation with Justin Herbert. Might have to do um, what's that play called with where it's like a direct, oh yeah, wildcat. You might have to do wildcat is direct a direct running back snap where he just takes the ball and just runs and just let the offensive linemen do their job and find any holes and get some yardage and get some touchdowns. But apparently our offensive line is still kind of broken. Two or three of our main guys are out. Two of them for sure are out for the season. The backups are trying to do the best they can, but it's apparently our weakness right now is that you need to attack our offensive line to get to our quarterback so that he doesn't have all this time to throw it to Quentin Johnston, Lat McConkey, Trey Harris, even getting the ball out to Kimani Vidal or Ranson Gotson. Or just pretty much any offensive weapon, And Justin Herbert can still run. His legs are working pretty fine, but it's his left hand. And I would imagine any defensive player will try to target his left hand, try to make it hurt worse, and then it'll overcompensate and it'll affect his throwing hand. But I still have high hopes for the Chargers. Right now, they are pretty much in the hunt in the AFC playoff picture. Right now, I think they're the number 5 seed in the AFC playoff picture. The New England Patriots are number 1. Denver Broncos are number 2, and we're 2 games behind the Broncos. We still have a game with the Broncos to end the year. So there's a chance we might catch up to the Broncos if somehow they trip up, but then we have to win all of our games. Um, The 3 seed, I believe, is the Jacksonville Jaguars, and the 4 seed, I believe, is the Baltimore Ravens. And then you get the 8-4 Chargers, who are followed by the 6 seeded Buffalo Bills and the 7 seed. Um, oh wait, no. No. I think the 6 seed is the Indianapolis Colts. 7 seed is the Buffalo Bills. They were all 8-4. So Chargers can control their own destiny. Hopefully, next time the Chargers are playing the Monday Night Football, they're hosting at SoFi Stadium against the defending Super Bowl champions, the Philadelphia Eagles. For some strange reason, I'm gonna say the Chargers are gonna beat the Eagles. I know at the beginning of the season I said that the Chargers will lose to the Eagles, and I thought they were a lot better. When you look at the schedule in September, but the Eagles have, for some strange reason, they're on a. They just keep losing the last couple weeks. They were up on the Cowboys 21-0 in Dallas. Yeah. And the Cowboys came back to win 24-21. And then the Eagles were playing Black Friday on Amazon Prime against the Bears, and the Bears won 24-15 in Philadelphia. So there's something wrong with the Eagles. Now, with the Eagles coming out to Los Angeles at the SoFi Stadium, there's a good chance the Eagles might bounce back and get back on, back to normal. But then again, the Chargers they're rested. They just beat the Raiders. They have the confidence, and Justin Herbert, he could still be playing on Monday, and he still has offensive weapons, and um, in shotgun formation, just hold the ball and then just chuck it. Chargers have a good chance to beat the Eagles. So I'm saying Chargers will beat the Eagles. Let's say the score is going to be Chargers 30, Eagles 23. And then after that, the Chargers do play, and they have to go to Kansas City to play the Chiefs. And then after that, the Chargers are, let's see, what is that? Oh, so after they play the Chiefs, the Chargers have to go to Dallas, Arlington, Texas, to go play the Dallas Cowboys. And then the Chargers come back home, and they're hosting against the Houston Texans, which could be anytime, any date of that particular weekend, because it's a flex game possibility. They could be Sunday Night Football. They could be moved to, I don't know. I mean, it's like, what is it, the 28th? So they could be playing the 28th, maybe 29th Monday Night Football, or they move it to Thursday Night Football, which I believe, is that Christmas? It could be moved to Christmas. So who knows? It would be a kind of a disadvantage in a way if the Chargers have to play. Well, I mean, I guess in a sense, the Chargers don't know what day of that particular week they're going to play. I mean, if they were already flexed in to play on Christmas, and that might be like an Amazon or Netflix flex game. But then again, they could be placed in Sunday Night Football, which would be nice because, it's still that normal routine of playing football on Sundays, and they get the primetime slot, so even better. Plus, the Chargers kind of have a little bit of a bad blood with the Houston Texans, because the Texans eliminated us in last year's playoffs. I think it was like 27-12 or 28-12. I don't know. Still kind of bitter about that. But Chargers, they end the season with the Denver Broncos, and I think the Chargers have to go to Denver and close out the season. Who knows? If the Chargers happen to be within one game of the Denver Broncos going into that game, they could have a chance to win the division and win possibly the number two seed, maybe three. You never know. We'll see what happens. But I still have confidence in the Chargers, and if they just have to beat the Patriots or the Jaguars or the Texans or the Bills or the Chiefs or the Ravens, possibly the Bengals. They have an outside chance because their schedule is all winnable against teams they can beat. The Ravens, they can beat them. They can probably beat the Browns. You get the Bills too. So honestly, the Bengals might have a shot. But then again, the best they can do is number four seed. So, anywho, um, so yes, there's that. It was a great experience, honestly. I gotta take the group to see the lake. The lake is a beautiful spot. It's my favorite spot in SoCal, Southern California. And you have a nice, kind of like a sky mixed with a sunset. It gives you a bit of a pink, purple, reddish, orangish looking color, mix of colors, and it is quite a sight to see. Um, uh, oh, and I did get to see WWE Survivor Series at Petco Park. Survivor Series War Games, they have the double ring, they have that gigantic cage surrounding the double ring. Um, the women's War Games match started off. Um, Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss, and AJ Lee. They came out victorious against Asuka, Kairi Sane, Nia Jax, Lash Legend, and Becky Lynch. And Io Sky, she jumped off the top of the cage with a trash can on top of her, which was kind of a signature move now. She is very courageous, very brave. Cero Miedo. Uh, and then the ending sequence was Rhea Ripley's team kind of did like their finishers, and then the last finisher was AJ Lee with her submission hold. Where she will put up her legs, wrap one of your arms, and then the calf muscle or one of the legs ends up um, I guess it wraps up one of the arms, and one of the other calf muscles is around like the neck, and then the two hands, the two arms, is like pulling back on the other arm. So the AJ lock or whatever it's called, it looks painful. Um, but it's so smooth when you do the move and you get into position to apply the submission hold. It's kind of one of the coolest submission holds I've ever seen. But yeah, that was the finish and end. I give that match 9 out of 10. All the women kind of hit their spots, and I'm kind of glad that Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair they got along, and Alexa Bliss, good seeing her. Um, but yeah, it was a good match overall. Back and forth as much as they can, and yeah, it was nice to see AJ Lee and Rhea Ripley. That's kind of a dream team of women wrestlers, superstars, and then finish out the match that way they did. Um, Next, I believe we had a match of John Cena, the Intercontinental Champion, defending championship against Dominic Mysterio in his hometown of San Diego. And the match had some good back and forth action. Um, there was like pretty much a spot where it was literally 6-on-1. Um, Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez, they interfered in the match. The referee was occupied with Dominic Mysterio, kind of injured supposedly at ringside, so it allowed them to do pop rocks and then do that Tejeda, Tejeda slam on John Cena, and then um, Finn Balor and JD kind of came out to help out with Dominic Mysterio, tried to do some damage on John Cena. Um, but the last help was Liv Morgan. She came back. And we all thought she was mad at Dominic Mysterio. But after she slapped him, she did the crazy eyes of betrayal. And she did that while she hugged John Cena. And then it zoomed in on her eyes. And then shortly after, Liv Morgan turns on John Cena, kicks him in the groins, and um, Dominic Mysterio hit his own version of the 619, and then did the frog splash. And Dominic Mysterio, with the 1-2-3, became the new Intercontinental Champion once again in front of his home crowd of San Diego. So yeah, 6-on-1, and this was John Cena's last pay-per-view premium live event um, of his career, and what a way to go out. And he said goodbye to the crowd. Crowd was still pretty loud for his exit, his swan song. Um, and it was kind of cool seeing John Cena. I've seen him. I've seen him lose at WrestleMania, and then I've seen him lose at Survivor Series. So I 0 for 2 when John Cena with me in the crowd. So I guess I'm bad juju. Um, I give that match 9 out of 10. That was pretty fun to watch all that. And then you got Stephanie Blackhair defending her World Women's Championship against Nikki Bella. And it had some good action. I liked it. And then Nikki Bella did hit her, I guess you could call it the torture rack finisher, um, where she has her opponent on her shoulders and then flip her back, and then it lands flat on her stomach. But Stephanie put her foot on the rope to break the count. Um, then Stephanie Vaquer did her traditional devil's kiss on the announcer's table, and then brought Nikki Bella back in and did it in the middle of the ring. And then she hit her corkscrew splash move. Um, it's kind of cool because she looks like a tornado when she does the move in the air. She spins and she lands on her opponent. So I guess it's called the corkscrew splash. Might be called something else, but it's really cool. And Stephanie Vaquer gets the 1-2-3 and retains the championship. That match, I want to say, was like a 8.8 out of 10. And then we got the men's war games. You got Brock Lesnar, and you got Braun Breaker, you got Bronson Reed, and you got Drew McIntyre, and you have Logan Paul on one side. They won the men's war games. They defeated undisputed WWE champion Cody Rhodes, World Heavyweight Champion CM Punk, the Usos, Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso, and Roman Reigns. Everyone's intro was really awesome. CM Punk and I guess it was CM Punk going up against Drew McIntyre, and that was pretty awesome because they have a bad blood, and it was a nice way to kick off the War Games for the men. And then I believe, I guess Logan Paul came out, and then I guess Cody Rhodes came out, and then I guess it was um, I guess it was either it might have been Bronson Reed, and then Jey Uso, and then Braun Breaker, and then Jimmy Uso, and then Jay. When Jey Uso is kind of doing his thing, he was climbing to the top of the cage, and then continue with his intro, and everybody was yeeting, yeet. But then Brock Lesnar's music came out, and um, everybody stopped. I think there was a clip of CM Punk was like doing a guitar riff with a steel chair, and then Brock Lesnar came in and I think he suplexed everybody, and then he did a lot of like the F5s, and then Roman Reigns came out at the very end, and Brock Lesnar actually got out of the cage. And technically, it's not a forfeit because War Games has not actually started yet because all 10 guys have to be inside the ring to start War Games. So it is allowed for Brock Lesnar to leave the ring, and he met Roman Reigns at the entrance, the end of the pathway, from the dugout, the Padres dugout, to the War Games Survivor Series cage. And Brock Lesnar pretty much F5 Roman Reigns into the announcer's table, and then brought him into the War Games cage, and they started War Games. And a lot of back and forth action. You get to see go to sleeps, claymores, knockout punches, the tsunami. That was even cool, actually. This time, Bronson Reed did not jump off the top of the cage for a tsunami because he broke his leg last time or something, or his ankle, broke his foot. And then the ending sequence was basically a masked man came in, climbed into the cage. He kicked CM Punk in the face and did the curb stomp on CM Punk. And Braun Breaker did his fast spear, and he pinned CM Punk. And that was the end of Men's War Games with the victors of Brock Lesnar, Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker, Logan Paul, and Drew McIntyre. Overall, I gotta say that was 9.1 out of 10. Overall, great experience. Also, tomorrow night, UFC 323. My prediction is Marab is going to defeat Peter Yan, and Joshua Van is going to beat Pantoja for the championship.